This is Helen Beckett. I'm the Community Manager for the Business Value Exchange, and I'm introducing today Nick Roberts, who's President of Soctim. That's the Association for Local Government IT Leaders. Welcome, Nick.
Good morning.
And of course, you had like 28 years experience as a leader in Surrey County Council as well. And you're hot foot from the annual conference at Soctim, so we're looking forward to your reflections on that. There's so much talk now about digital disruption, and it's filtering, percolating through to government. Central government have had GDS to wake them up, but that you don't have that in local authority, local government. What is the catalyst there for digital disruption?
This is an interesting debate that's been churning on over the last few months about government. I think has been quite successful in creating a GDS, government digital service, and one could argue how far they've gone and how much they've achieved, but there's no doubt they've been able to be a disruptive force in government, and they've achieved significant change in the way in which services are delivered and the transaction process, at least. But a lot of people are talking about, well, translate that into local government and create a local GDS. And that's really difficult, because the whole point of local government is it's independent, it's autonomous, and it's locally accountable. And there is no single body in place that has the power to mandate services. So debate has been going on about how we achieve that. And an interesting theme came out from the conference about the fact that disruption really needs to come from within. And because we're autonomous bodies, you need to create a GDS type ethos and mentality inside each organization. And that can come from IT, it can come from a digital service, it doesn't really matter, but you need to create that disruption. And therefore what we need in order to support that is some tools, a centre of excellence, some experience, some expertise that local government can call on to supplement the skills that they've got internally. And that's the sort of difference, that's the direction it would need to go.
And so are you finding that there's a lot more knowledge sharing going on? Because, I mean, in the past, this is a criticism that might have been levelled, that local authorities were a bit pitted against each other. They were looking at each other as benchmarks rather than offering great customer service, perhaps, to their local citizens. So is there being a transformation there culturally, do you think?
I think there's a huge desire and willingness to share, and there isn't competition in that sense. I think there's a really a desire to do well, and that's predicated on the amount of resources and funding that's available. So you're seeing that the most successful authorities are percolating to the top and providing some shared services, providing some resources that go out to other authorities, and that's a good thing. So the best will always work its way to the top. I think that local government could benefit from having some services available that it can call on. So a pot of money. Central government's been very fortunate to have a large pot of money invested in GDS. And if a fraction of that was invested in local government, we could create some shared resources that authorities could call on to make a real difference. And I think that's probably more the thing that we need.
So call for extra funding there. But despite that lack of funding, there are some really good learnings going on around, for example, customer experience. I mean, perhaps originally the thought might have been just shift everything online, but now this word customer experience in local government, citizen experience, is coming to the fore. How does that work? Because again, you don't have the luxury of just moving everything online and dedicating everything to a superb online experience. You have to maintain many channels.
Well, absolutely, we do. But I think it's a misnomer to say that there's some things that don't benefit from digital. Absolutely, part of any transaction can benefit from digital, and the important thing is to ensure that digital experience can be mediated where people can't access it directly themselves. So there's no reason why an authority shouldn't use those digital processes to the best of its ability. That'll improve the customer experience, it'll improve cost efficiencies,
Yeah.
it will improve speed of delivery. And that raises an interesting conundrum, doesn't it?
Mm.
Because I hear some authorities very nervous about going further into digital because of the amount of funding they have available and the real concern around the increase in demand that a great digital service would create. And I used at the conference the rather hackneyed example now of potholes
Okay.
because and it's been around a long time. You create a great digital experience about reporting potholes and more people will report
Yeah.
potholes if
Okay.
and your highways maintenance budget potentially could go through the roof in the winter.
Mm.
Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing that
Mm.
people are able to report the potholes? The concern is you can't afford to repair them. And 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 it's really important that we don't mix up giving our citizens, our customers, a great customer experience with the need for the business to determine policies around thresholds for service delivery, how much they can and how much they can't do. And that sometimes gets muddled. And a really strong message that came out for me from the conference was our real need to have that sensible dialogue with senior managers, with councillors, with MPs around the importance of digital, the importance of investing in digital to improve the efficiencies and the service delivery of the rest of the business, but ensuring that the dialogue goes on in the right place for having those discussions around policy thresholds and how we deliver
Yeah.
the service.
That's a really interesting argument that digital can't become a victim of its own success and push
Yes.
budgets in all kinds of directions. So the need for really clear business plans and governance is a strong message coming out. Nick, thanks so much for those thoughts today. We'll leave it for there, but there's a lot more to talk about in the future. Many thanks.
Thanks very much.